Step 10. Fifth dimensional Venus. The joining. Being on fifth dimensional Venus reminds you of how you and your divine complement came as one being from the higher dimensional worlds to prepare for your incarnation into third dimensional Earth. It was during the fall of Atlantis, and Gaia had sent out a call to beings of higher dimensional light to assist her. The darkness of her people had overcome the light, and her planet was in danger of destruction. You were one of the volunteers who had answered her call and were studying in fifth dimensional Venus for your incarnation on Earth. No matter how long your preparation, however, you discovered that you were not ready for the limitations of a third dimensional reality. You later learned that these limitations were easy compared to being without your complete self. Now, after so many third dimensional incarnations, it feels unusual to again be one with your complement, or, as some say, your twin flame. It took many Earth years before you and your complement could release your deep grief over living as only a portion of your multi-dimensional self. The moment that you were separated from your complement was the moment you first experienced a reality based on polarities, with all the illusions of separation and limitations of third dimensional life. Gaia is again on the verge of a transition. Fortunately, this time her frequency is rising into the fifth dimensional resonance, and many of the members of the planetary ascension team, such as you, are here to become reaccustomed to holding the frequency of the fifth dimension. In past incarnations, you have ascended into the fifth dimension and beyond after death. But this ascension is quite different. For one thing, you are dedicated also to the ascension of Gaia and all her inhabitants. For another, you are planning to create this ascension without the experience of death. In other words, you are practicing to gradually adapt your personal and planetary forms to a fifth dimensional resonance. You do this because you want to participate in Gaia's transition into the fifth dimension as a seamless shift into a higher frequency reality. You are now on fifth dimensional Venus, lying on a beach of pink sand as one being of light, united with your divine complement. The waters of light caress your feet, grounding you into the matrix of this hologram of fifth dimensional Venus. You stretch your light body, and a million sparkles fall into the pink sand. You can feel the consciousness within every grain of sand and pebble, as well as the aliveness and intelligence, life force of the air that cycles through your light body with every breath. You are fully aware that all matter and substance is an elaborate illusion created for the opportunity to commune and communicate with all that is. Because the fifth dimension is a halfway house between the worlds of form and the worlds of formlessness, the holograms created here are often based on the forms and structures of the lower worlds. Hence, your light body is often in the same humanoid form that it took while on Earth. However, in the fifth dimension, you are not bound to that form and you are at liberty to alter your body in any way that you desire. If you wish to experience flying, you could grow the wings of an eagle or become a bee. You could also float to your destination, as there is no gravity in the fifth dimension. When you choose to travel interdimensionally to a higher dimensional world, you often take the form of a speck of light or a star being. Your light body's skin is translucent and glimmers with light, but it can look denser if you prefer. You are usually about 10 Earth feet tall, and since you are composed of light, you have no weight at all. In fifth dimensional realities, you live in the ever-present now and are always in the here-ness and is-ness of that infinite moment. When you separate into two masculine and feminine gendered beings to study in the crystal temple, your light body still exists, but it phases out into a higher frequency until your two polarities merge into one. However, it never ceases to be, as it is infinite and immortal. You separate into male and female while in the temple because that is how you came here through the Arcturian Corridor. Also, you and your divine complement have different responsibilities in the planetary ascension team. Fortunately, while you are in the fifth dimension, you are in constant contact with your complement. You can't help but think how much easier your incarnations on Earth would have been if you could have had that contact. If you are awakened in your third dimensional reality, you can sometimes communicate with your complement via your multidimensional self. The waters of light have cooled and the sun hugs the horizon. It is time for you to separate again into the two and resume your individual temple studies. As the one being, you stand and stretch your long arms toward the top of the red mountain. Your glowing golden form expands slowly, growing wider and wider until you take on the form of two pyramids attached at their base, with the masculine peak reaching towards the sky and the feminine peak grounded towards the heart of Venus. As the upper peak opens, the double pyramid slowly separates into two spirals of light. The spirals look like spinning golden vortexes. Gradually, they unwind into two golden stars. Slowly, arms, legs, and a head form from the stars, and two separate beings emerge. You and your complement raise your hands to the level of your hearts and touch each other palm to palm. You lovingly look into each other's eyes and, with a quick kiss and a smile, you return to the crystal temple as two beings, joined by unconditional love. That was a modified excerpt from Reconstructing Reality by Suzanne.